Hey everyone! In my last post, where I actually share with us about how we find it challenging and difficult to feel understood or to be heard or to be seen by other people, as well as to understand other people as well in the relationship. And one of the main reasons why we find it difficult is mainly that we actually see from my lens or your lens at the end of the day. And what I mean by that is that it is all about me, me, and me. At the end of the day, it is all about what's in it for me. But in order for us to feel understood as well as to understand other people, is that we need to learn how to create our lens in terms of how can I see from not only my lens, but as well as your lens and everyone's lens when we actually interact with anyone in life. And there are three simple steps that we can actually create our lens in order to develop a much more quality, a better and much more fulfilling relationship in life. And one of it being that we need to learn how to listen to other people, at the same time to put aside our judgment at the corner. And why this is important is because at the end of the day, it is not only about my perspective, but I'm also learning to see from your perspective as well. What I feel is true may not be true for you, and vice versa. And by doing this simple act itself, by putting aside our judgment and to completely listen to the other person in terms of what he or she shares their deepest concerns and worries, this itself is a very simple kind of act, and it will give a lot of love to the other person who may need it as well. And the second step that we can also create our lens is that we will need to actually acknowledge the concerns or worries or pains that the other person actually share with us. And at the same time, we should not actually offer any advice at all to the person unless that is actually what is requested by the person, him or herself. And why this is important as well is that if you agree or find it relatable, most of the times when we share our deepest concerns and worries to the person who we trust with or who we care about, who we love, advice is not the main thing that we want to get in solving our problems. But what is the deepest desire that we have out of that is that we wish to be seen or to be heard and to be understood by the person who we share with our concerns and worries. And last but not least, what we can do as well is that very important, which is to actually thank the other person for sharing with us his or her concerns and worries. And why this is important as well, although it is very simple, why it's actually important is because that it takes a lot of courage for someone to drop down their barriers and walls when it comes to sharing their concerns and worries. Because isn't it true that we are so used to building up these walls and barriers within us in order to protect ourselves from feeling more pain and hurt in relationships as a result of the past traumas or pains that we have been through as a result of that interaction with the person who we used to trust before this. Hence, when it takes a lot of courage for us to put down that barriers and walls, it feels as though that there's a lot of vulnerability going on, and it feels very raw for someone to be naked in terms of emotionally and mentally as well, to completely trust the other person and to share his or her deepest concerns and worries in order to be feel understood, to be seen, as well as to be heard. And perhaps the simplest of all, in summing up all of these needs, is that at the end of the day, all we want is to be loved by the people who we actually cherish. Hence, in short, these are the three simple steps that we can actually take in creating our lens when it comes to developing a better and much more quality relationship in life in order to feel happier and much more fulfilling. And just a short recap is that the first one, we will need to learn to listen completely to the other person. At the same time, putting aside our judgment. The second step that we can do as well is that to acknowledge the other person's pain without offering any advice. And last but not least is to as simple as to thank the other person for sharing with us his or her deepest concerns and worries. Because remember, how we want to be treated by other people, we will need to do the same to the other person as well. It's a saying that we have heard before by the people who we know. And of course, as Stephen Covey said, seek first to understand, only then for us to be understood by other people. Thanks to those who are watching for our today's episode. Hope you managed to gain a few new insights when it comes to creating a much more better and quality relationship in life by creating our lens rather than focusing on my and your lens only itself. And if you find that this video is valuable, do save this video for your future reference and share it with your friends as well who may actually be beneficial to them. And with that, I will see you in the next video in order for us to connect with you again. Thank you for watching. Wish you the best in life. Take care and stay safe.